Ah, I'm tired of traveling, or fighting superstition in its many manifestations. Even though it was me who chose to debunk folklore and mysticism, little did I know I'd end up being labelled as Patrick Galloway, the man with endless occult knowledge. Before I knew it, people all over the world paid me to investigate all kinds of weird things. As long as they paid me, I'd look into it. Funny thing though, the more I saw, the more I believe there are forces beyond our control. Creatures not explainable in any human terms. Things that make me skin crawl. I fled from Ireland and hung around Paris and London with no real purpose till the Great War started. I joined a special unit whose job it was to squelch the fears of the superstitious farm boys who made up the fighting ranks. The Tresanti were the biggest pains. The commanding officer, Jeremiah Covenant, led our unit in the hunt for their camp. We were ambushed. They came streaming out of the woods, waving swords and howling like banshees. I saw their leader holding a strange stone over his head, yelling weird words in a strange tongue. And just when I was gonna pull the trigger, he glared right at me. A bright green flash came from his hand, and it bowled me over as my gun went off. I woke up in a hospital bed with severe burns. They told me Jeremiah and the unit had gone on without me, but he'd given me the shaman stone to keep. I hadn't given any of this much thought until I came back here to find this letter that Jeremiah wrote me almost 6 months ago, asking me to come back to Ireland and help him out. This is not something I'm dying to do, for it may mean the death of me. He saved my life though, so I owe it to him. Just hope it's not too late.
Hello YouTube, and welcome to Clive Barker's Undying. This game came out, I think, 1990... I want to say 96, but it may have been later. It may have been 2000. It didn't exactly sell well that I'm aware of, which is a shame because it was really fun game. Sort of a action-y, first-person shootery, survival horror-y mishmash of horror game and action game. Anyway, I'm going to, Each time my past fades from memory, fate has a terrible habit of reawakening me. Most often, the unpleasant name of Otto Kaisinger is the vehicle of remembrance, but not today. My old friend and commanding officer in the Great War, Jeremiah Covenant, has sent word. It's been years since I've heard from him. His letter came whilst I was away, sitting unopened for nearly 6 months. My joy at reading his name was quickly replaced by sorrow, then by fear. Jeremiah has fallen ill and requires my assistance at his estate in Ireland. I have not set foot on Irish soil since poor Gwendolyn's death, and I did not think anything could make me return. Could I have been responsible for her death? Being legally exiled from my homeland was painful, but nothing in comparison to my memories. How did she end up on the floor? How could so much blood come without a sound? How was that knife in my hand, and why was Kaisinger suddenly nowhere to be found? But Jeremiah saved my life, and I cannot deny any request he would make. The necessity of my presence is somewhat vague, and his letter at times was incoherent. He speaks of his sickness as a family illness no medicine can cure. Regardless, I will go to my friend. I have booked passage on a steamliner leaving tomorrow, arriving in 4 days' time. I hope I am not recognized by the authorities. I hope I am not too late. So yeah, Patrick has been exiled from Ireland because he was framed for the death of his lover by an Otto Kaisinger who will show up in this game. I'm not playing this blind. I've actually beaten it before, but it's been a long time. Alright, other things in my list. The Gelzabar stone. I've carried this artifact ever since the day Jeremiah gave it to me following the battle with the Tresanti. It seems to throw out a shockwave of considerable force, and ever since... You know what? I'm just going to skim this. Basically, this is one of my 2 starting weapons, and it does a few things. It increases the power of your spells by 1 level. Its primary attack lets you knock enemies away from you if you're getting surrounded. And anytime you're near something that the scry spell will reveal, it glows and a voice whispers scry. Also, there's this stuff about a terrible beast from beyond this world that attacks anyone who uses it too much. But that doesn't happen to you. My trusty revolver, it's a 6-shooter. It's going to be the primary weapon in the game. And the scry spell. And we're not even going to read. That's 2 pages of stuff about I can see things. I can trigger hallucinations. Alright, so there's the Gilzabar stone. There's my revolver. There's rats. And there's the Gilzabar stone doing its thing. Yeah, that's all I need to know about this. I'm getting out of here.
Stuck.
Of course it's stuck. What? Yeah, okay. Maybe inside is best. Giant bats saying it. Inside, 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 inside. Much safer inside. And I'll be back.
I'm Patrick Galloway, a friend of Jeremiah's. Sorry it took me so long to get here. His letter said it was most urgent.
Jeremiah was beginning to think that the letter never arrived in your hands. He's been quite anxious to see you. We've all been quite worried. Jeremiah's now bedridden. Follow me and I'll show you to his living quarters. I apologize for the look of the house, but there's only a skeleton crew of servants now. Jeremiah let go of everyone else, and the house is much too large for us to clean. Because we've lost electricity to most parts of the house, we can only maintain the living quarters. This family's had so much tragedy. I hope you can help him.
Okay, so a little bit of talk from the maid about the situation here. I love the scenery here. This house must be obscenely expensive. Okay. I'll be honest, I actually am familiar with the events in this game, but I'm trying to provide as close to my original reactions as possible. That is just not right. That is just not right. And that looks like a first aid kit, which it is. Alright. Let's get that equipped. And another cutscene.
Patrick, you made it.
At your service, Jeremiah. Sorry for the delay, but I've been abroad. What happened to you?
It seems I've come under the watchful eye of the Reaper, my friend. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Apparently too long.
Patrick, I came back from the war only to find my entire estate in disarray. My brother Aaron disappeared first, and then my sister Bethany. My declining health is a result of an old war wound, and unfortunately, the symptoms are irreversible. I didn't summon you here to watch me die. I need your help.
Anything I can do. Just name it.
Strange events began happening around the manor. After thinning out my staff, they ransacked my estate, taking whatever they could carry. The rest of the help was quick to follow, as they feared rumors of my family's curse. I can't help but think it's more than a coincidence that strange happenings have increased since I've been back from the war. I want to get to the bottom of this, but I'm just too weak to investigate it myself. I'm relying on you to step in for me.
Of course, Jeremiah. The only reason I risk coming back here is to assist you however I can.
My thanks to you, Patrick.
What the hell is that?
Sounds like it came from downstairs.
I'll check it out. Lock the door behind me.
Okay. You know, I just now noticed that Patrick is left-handed. Anyway, a little bit of inconsistency there. You'll notice in the journal before it said that Jeremiah's illness was a family illness, and now he's claiming it's an old war wound. I don't know if that's a mistake in the writing or what. I have arrived in time, apparently just in time. Completely bedridden, Jeremiah is the shadow of his old self, appearing many pounds and a few shades lighter. His explanation for calling me is still unclear. He speaks of strange happenings around the estate, problems he is unable to rectify in his weakened state, and has requested that I investigate. I, of course, agreed. Before I could ponder where to begin my exploration, the servant who showed me to Jeremiah's room screamed from downstairs. Often, where to begin is the most difficult. That was an awfully deep scream. That does not sound like a servant. Hale, it's you again. Alright, laughing boy. I'm coming. Open door. Let's do this. Because doors that open by themselves are always a good thing.
Can you describe what you can only see? As the bonds of flesh are broken, the world becomes apparent.
Bro, we gotta talk about your, like, bizarre, thing you did with your neck there. Alright, moving right along.
Stuck.
Of course it is. Oh, there we go. I see first aid kit. Okay, I got 60 bullets, 2 first aid kits. More bullets over here. Alright. You cut that out. There's the scream. That's... Who's laughing? Is that you? Oh, jeez. So that's a how. Oh. Whew. Shit. Oh, reload. Oh. There we go. Okay. Reload again, just to be safe. I don't know why sometimes I can hit those things and sometimes I just am crap. Health pack, first aid kit. Bullets, sorry. Oh, crap, hey. I knew you were around here somewhere. Haha, headshot. Ignore that miss. Okay, that sound. Wow, 3 misses and a headshot. That's terrible. Okay, alright. Okay, that sound is coming from... That's good. Okay, it's coming from right around there. Yeah, definitely. Oh, hello. Yeah, that's right. Oh, jeez. Wow, that's terrible. Okay, so let's see here.
Won't
Here,
budge.
no.
Stuck.
Here, no. That's where it came from. I guess I'm going upstairs. Hello? Oh, jeez, hello. You come... What are you doing? Oh, jeez. Okay, that sounds... Oh!
Help me, Patrick!
Okay, coming. Reloading. Alright. Okay, I'll be right there. Hold on. Sound was coming from somewhere. Oops, that's not flashlight. This is not Gary's mod or Half-Life. There we go. Journal. It even says journal on it. Okay. Boop. New journal entry. That entire book boils down to... I have just returned from the Standing Stones. Whatever inspired an ancient people to build these stones out on that windswept isle, I cannot guess. While I have seen sights like this before, something about the stones has resonance within me. Why would ancient people trouble themselves to build these monoliths on such an isolated island? It would have been far easier to establish a similar ritual area on the mainland itself. I find it curious that for as long as my family has owned this house, no one has taken it upon themselves to truly research the land on which we own. Considering I had not returned to the manor since I was a child, I never realized the curious nature of my inheritance. Why does this area have such a strange collection of archaeological artifacts? While I strongly doubt there is any connection between Neolithic stones, a decaying monastery, and the tower that the estate was built and wraps itself around, the significance of the three major archaeological sites cannot be denied. The tower is a local legend itself. Supposedly during a great storm, the tower just appeared on this site. Of course, no one can tell me when this happened. All I can tell is that it is a gutted shell of what it once was. No doubt this is why it has been sealed off for so long. The monastery is now a crumbled ruin. It's certainly just a remnant of some reclusive order of monks. It seems that Ireland is dotted with these retreats. I'll have to travel out to the island someday. Perhaps I will take the children. Joseph. Okay, Joseph, you do that. You take the children out to the island of Standing Stones because you have no idea that you're in a Clive Barker story. Okay, and this is the source of the sound. An amplifier. This strange crystalline stone seems to be a source of finite power that may be used to increase the power and effectiveness of my spell casting. I must keep my eyes peeled and ears open for its pinkish hue and low hum. Okay, what this does is, if you equip it and then use it, it increases the level of a given spell. But I won't be doing that until I get my next spell. Which fortunately is soon, and then we'll be up to the point where I've played recently, and everything past this will be not new, but kind of new.
Those beasts were after me.
What in God's name were those things?
They're called howlers. And while I've never seen one before tonight, I've heard of them for years.
Those weren't natural, my friend. We're fighting more than superstitions here.
Perhaps I was being naive not to tell you, but there might be something more sinister at work here. When I was a boy, I encountered something I can't quite explain. You see, there was this isle of standing stones that sits just off the estate. Someone had carved a sigil into each of the stones, something indiscernible. Father had many books on the occult, one of which contained a sketch of that very symbol. I took my brothers and sisters out to the island and read from my father's book.
Well, what happened?
Something answered. The ocean began to boil, and a great wind whipped against us as we stood in the circle, and my siblings huddled to the ground in fear. Eventually, the wind died, and the sea settled. Patrick, I know it sounds like the ravings of a dying man, but I believe those standing stones had something to do with this. What has once been a taint upon this family has now begun to manifest itself.
But you told me you're dying. Doesn't this curse end with you?
Who knows? My brothers and sisters are dead, but I don't think they're really gone. I've heard some servants whispering. They think they've seen Lisbeth on the estate. My family has come for me. I sense them, Patrick. By now, you and I know the supernatural exists. You saw the howlers. And what about our encounters with the Tersante during the war? You still even carry the Gelzebah stone with you.
It's a token of the shaman's life I took. That's all.
I found a scroll with a picture of the Gelzebah on it. I believe it contains the way to awaken the stone's dormant power.
Very well. Let me study this scroll overnight, and I'll see what I can do in the morning.
This house still hides many secrets. I'm counting on you to reveal them and put an end to this mess.
Okay, next day in your guest room, and I've got some more journal entries. Scream downstairs was a result of an attack by a beast called a howler. Pale in complexion, had claws as long as my arm, and could leap several meters from a dead stop. Yes, it could. I killed the fiend and all his buddies. It did vanish, yes. Upon questioning Jeremiah, that's a great way of, like, we can't leave the bodies lying around, so let's just make it part of the supernatural stuff that they disappear. Yeah, the brothers and sisters, the Isle of Standing Stones, and the sorcery book of his late fathers, because that's a brilliant thing to do. Let's go out to the ancient ritual site and do an ancient ritual. Yes, Lisbeth was a hottie back then, yes. Okay, alright, moving along. If there are only delusions, why not inform me of them when we first spoke? Why would he not write me as such in his letter? Perhaps he did not think I would come. And we have the scroll here that he was talking about. Right. And the scroll Jeremiah gave me revealed a powerful spell. It seems with the proper concentration and focus of my mana, am able to release ethereal bolts of ectoplasm from my hand. Unreliable at far range, the mystical damage seems quite effective in close quarters. It's also pretty cheap. A single one costs me about 10 mana. I can get 15 of them off before I run out of mana because it's recharging while I cast. Okay, so we're going to use the amplifier to build that up. Grab some more ammo, reload, and move on with the story. You got about 10 minutes left. Okay. Is that Joseph? Is that what he looks like? Dude with the mutton chops? Or is that a bust of somebody else? Ectoplasm! Okay, level 3 ectoplasm! Okay, and back to the gun, and one thing that annoys me, that flash.
Have you noticed anything strange going on?
Apparently, Elizabeth's room was broken into last night during the commotion.
Where's her room?
Just down the hall from here. It's quite a mess.
I didn't ask what state her room is in, I just asked where it was.
Jam.
It's a great delight in telling me it's a mess.
Locked.
Bethany.
Stuck.
Alright, there's Elizabeth's room. There's a door down there. There's a hallway down there. We'll get to that in a minute. I hate that flash.
Tell me what you know about Lisbeth.
Why, she was a fetching young lass. Quite the fiery temper, though. She could be placid and calm 1 minute, and then suddenly she's spitting curses and swinging her nails at you like an animal. 'Tis a pity her mother died birthing her.
Indeed.
Following her mother's death, I'd raised Lisbeth like my own. In the end, the wasting sickness got her. I'd cared for her when she was sick and watched her wither away to nothing. Pity a young woman has to die in the spring of her life. Now she rests with her poor mother at the family mausoleum. The groundskeeper claims to have seen her recently. Poor man, seeing a ghost is never a good omen.
Where can I find this groundskeeper?
He's out in the gardens. You can get there through the kitchen.
Your knowledge is appreciated. Thank you.
So, you raised her? Your fault then. Alright, let's do some investigating before I go down to the kitchen. New journal entry. On nights when I cannot sleep, I look from my bed to the monastery out my window. The reflections of the waters that separate us ripple across my bedroom walls, filling the room with waves of moonlight. If it is quiet enough and the wind is still, I can hear them chanting. Their prayers roll across the water, and I thought the monastery was abandoned. Their prayers roll across the water and fall upon my ears like a lullaby rocking me to sleep. It fills my body with such a quiet peace, and yet I cannot help but wonder how something that provides so much security could at the same time haunt me. At midnight, the chanting stopped. The brilliant lights of the monastery go black except for a tiny glow that emanates from the entrance to the catacombs. As I watch that single light, I can see the shadows of the monks at the entrance. It is then that I feel a slow, creeping dread rise from my stomach, as if the island somehow has a hold of me. I have overheard bits and pieces of a story from hushed conversations about monks who died a horrible death years ago among these grounds. It is said their tortured souls were put to rest within the catacombs, and that their 2 brothers have stood guard at the entrance each night since. Cannot help but wonder why. What are they waiting for, or hoping to ward off? Are they bound to the island with the same unknown force as I? The Lord works in such mysterious ways, but how can a just God allow his own flock to die within sacred grounds? Surely there's another force working among us, one capable of pure evil. A loving God could never allow such pain and agony. Is it that force that eats at me at night and leaves my dreams unsettled? Are the waters enough to keep me safe? I wish just once I could lie in the grass outside the catacombs for a night and put these haunted dreams to rest. I must end these nightly visions and seek the truth. Lisbeth. Okay, right. I thought that your father wrote down that the monastery was abandoned. I'm pretty sure of it.
This house needs a priest.
Give me an old priest and a young priest. There's Lisbeth. Okay. That's the wrong spell. Yeah, okay, so that was Lisbeth earlier in the conservatory or whatever room that was. And there's some howlers. Jeez, just don't do that, lady. Okay, alright, you're creeping me out. Okay. Oh, hey, cool. How many do I have? 4. And there's Patrick's handsome face. Let's see, get closer. Oh yeah. He looks like a rugged Tarby. Okay, so I guess kitchen is... What the hell?
Help me!
Okay, fine, I'll follow you. No? No, leave him alone. Leave him the hell... Leave him alone. Ow. Nope. Okay, alright, now let's go back here. Getting hung up on scenery. Whoa, reload. And switch spells. Okay, and where are... Ah! You jackasses. Hey! That's one down. Alright, they're all dead. I could use a first aid kit. Okay, he was down here. Oh wait, I got a new journal entry. What's it say? Oh, it's the conversations that I had before I found that journal. Never mind. You doing alright? Everything good? You're bleeding. You're also kind of creepily staring. What's over here? You want me to light these candles? What are you staring at? Fine, moving on. Okay. Back at the entrance hall. I heard that. Okay, alright. But I got an open door here. Oh, jeez, hi! Alright. More journal entries. It's truly a pity that my dear wife, Evelyn, passed away birthing Lisbeth. She would have loved to see them all grow. Cannot help but think that she would have been able to tame this wild streak that they have all exhibited lately. A mother is a soothing influence. I unfortunately cannot offer them this solace. I wish I could understand what brought on this recent behavior. I received a letter today from Ambrose's boarding school. He's been expelled. I don't know what to do with that boy. With the behavior of the children so appalling, I have no choice but to bring them home. Perhaps I can find a tutor. I hope being under my watchful eye will calm their spirits. The last 6 weeks have been terrible. The tutor was a complete disaster. In fact, the poor man just packed his bags and left in the night. Any form of discipline is hopeless with Ambrose and almost seems completely lost on the others. The only thing I have been able to do is play to their interests. I have noticed that each child has their own avid curiosity. Strange to see it manifest at such an early age, but who am I to discourage the one moment of peace I can find with them? I now understand why this... Okay, these are each separate entries. I don't know why it's listed as a letter. I now understand why the children are behaving wildly. Jeremiah came to me frightened and crying. Several years ago, the children broke into my library and procured one of my research books without my knowledge. But how was I to know that a 12-year-old boy would take interest in those dusty tomes? I do not know what passage they read, but I suspect it has led to the current predicament concerning their behaviors and eccentricities. Jeremiah says they woke the spirits of the island. Hopefully I can determine what the children have done. Perhaps there's a solution. I have pored over the volumes of research, and I am no closer to understanding what Jeremiah and the children may have conjured. None of the incantations in the books could have caused this to happen. Calling a demon or consulting spirits should not have such a long-lasting, disturbing effect. I even traveled to the stones. Nothing there gave me clues to what has happened. Perhaps if they had only told me at the time, I would have had more insight. Now any clues would be long gone. I have determined that the stones are some sort of focus. Perhaps there is a reason so many people have been attracted and repulsed by this land. It seems that my own fascination with the standing stones has wrought its corruption upon my children. Joseph. That's right. You bring your kids to ancient druid or whatever, not real druid, but, movie druid, sites of worship, and you get demon children. It's your own fault. Okay. Okay, wish I hadn't done that. I think that's where Lisbeth was born, but that's frickin' foul. Ammo! Give me, I'm going to want that. All this growling. Okay. Alright, I'm good on health. 97%. Oh, hello. Wrong spell, wrong spell, wrong spell! There we go, that's much better. Okay. Alright. Okay. Yes, I'm hearing the... Where the hell are you? Laughing. It's coming from there. Oh, this part. I remember this part. Okay. Scry spell and... No. Ow. I hate the way the camera... Oh, jeez. Okay, that's 1 down. That's 2 down. That's 3 down. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's go see what they were eating. Of course it was a servant. How is anybody still working here? Well, half the staff has died under mysterious circumstances, and the place is probably haunted. Let's just continue to work here.
Won't budge.
Which door do I open?
Stuck.
Wait. Let's see what this journal says. All is not well here at the Covenant Estate. Joseph, my husband... Oh. Dearest mother, all is not well here at the Covenant Estate. Joseph, my husband, who once charmed me with his goodwill and smile, now seems distant and reclusive. I realize that when we met, there are those imperfections one must look past and that your heart helps you forgive. However, Joseph's strange obsession keeps him in the library at all hours of the night. Seldom are we spending time together, and even more rarely does he want to exercise his husbandly right towards me. I'm beginning to feel inadequate, especially when he talks of his desire for children prancing around the estate. What am I to do? So he doesn't want to sleep with you, but he wants you to have children. You need to have a talk with him about the birds and the bees. That's just... I bide most of my time alone in the greenhouse, reminiscing of my sweet youth and the rich and gallant Peter O'Connor, who would wait patiently on me and shower me with expensive gifts like my beloved pearl necklace. Things could have been different had I kept that social path. Instead, I feel like I'm the fool for getting involved with Joseph Covenant. His private moments are being spent in his library with books twice as old as me. Apparently my visage can't garner his attention. What dear advice could you give me, dearest mother? I'll be waiting for your response. I hope that this letter finds you and father well. Tell father not to worry about his little Robin, that I've left the nest but shall never leave his heart. With love, Evelyn. So, Joseph's wife, the Covenant's mother, was neglected. Not at all surprising. Okay, I love this, the nightmare painting. Okay, alright. Let's... Oh, you... Oh, no, it's over here. And... Is this the door you just slammed? Alright. Okay, I think it's been over a half hour. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. And I will see you soon. Oops, don't mean to open that. I will see you soon.